Do you believe the average person is getting accurate, unbiased, scientifically proven information from their oncologist?
Not likely. But it's not the oncologist's fault. The oncologist knows very little about this. They know about how to treat, use certain procedures to treat the disease. They're not trained in medical school to know anything about nutrition. And in fact, if they get anything at all, it's like a half-hour course in their whole medical training. So they're not trained to use food as medicine or know anything about the healing and therapeutic power of different kinds of foods. So I would say at least 90% of oncologists would be unfamiliar with that terrain.
Subsequently, do you believe the average person is getting accurate, unbiased, scientifically proven information from the medical industry as a whole?
No, there's a lot of controversy about this. Unfortunately, from what I read and what I see, the food pyramids and all of these things, they're influenced by special interests to a large degree, which then creates massive confusion on the population. So it's very hard to wade through what's healthy and what's not healthy. But I think a lot of common sense will tell you whether eating broccoli might be less harmful to your body than eating Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, if someone were to substitute every night broccoli for donuts, I think you'll find a difference in physiology after a while. So, but there are a lot of foods that I think are pretty healthy for you or not harmful and things. My field is not nutrition, okay? So you're asking me questions that I can speculate on this stuff, but it's not my field. We're into targeting energy metabolism in cancer cells. And if you eat certain foods, they could be facilitatory, and other foods might be disruptive. So it's hard to say. It's a very complicated area, but the answer to your question is, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation that comes in this industry as the result of inputs from special interest groups that are powerful enough to push their pitch. So, and then the poor person has to try to wade through what they think is the correct information. And that puts a lot of people, so that's why you hear it even at this meeting. Can you eat this? Can you eat that? Do you recommend this to you? I don't recommend anything. I'm not telling anybody what they should do. Just measure your blood sugar ketone index, and that pretty much gives you a snapshot of where you stand. Look at your triglycerides. Look at your ratio of HDL to LDL. If you have imbalances in these metabolites, try changing something and see whether you can bring the metabolites back in their correct zones, and then do it on yourself and see what happens. I know everybody doesn't have the ability to do that. You have to go to some of the clinical chemistry labs. But I think there are places that you can go and get a quick blood reading on your HDL, LDL. Cholesterol is not a marker for this. Triglycerides are a more important marker for cardiovascular disease than is cholesterol. The ratio of cholesterol, HDL, and LDL is important, I think. But many of the other, having low insulin levels, low glucose levels is good. Insulin is a provocative hormone. It's a very sensitive, powerful hormone that should be in very low quantities rather than, insulin insensitivity puts you at risk for cardiovascular disease, dementia, all kinds of things. And you keep that in a low ratio by avoiding, if you have diets that are high in fat and high in sugar, those are the ones that put you at great risk because the sugar and the fat work off each other. But if you have a diet that's low in sugar and higher in fat, you lower triglycerides. We've seen this ourselves. Fish oil, we were shocked to find out how powerful fish oil was, actually. You can lower triglycerides with fish oil. So we did some of these studies, but it was only in relationship to trying to manage cancer or seizure or epilepsy.
Do you believe the average person is getting accurate, unbiased, scientifically proven information from the FDA and other governmental agencies?
Well, here's the problem. There's not even a consensus on the part of the scientists as to what's appropriate or inappropriate. Okay, there's a lot of controversy, even among major scientific centers. So how is the FDA going to be able to make a correct decision when the information that they receive itself is not settled? So, this is one of the issues. But, most people, if they understand things, people know that there are ways to live a healthy lifestyle and there are ways to live a less than healthy lifestyle. And I think a lot of it is common sense. And people read into so many things in such a deep way, and he said this, she said that, they said this, they said that. It's all upside down. Well, I'll just do whatever I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to do what I was always doing, which may or may not be good. So it's a very hard, it's not easy.